What do you mean you're homeless? How you gonna shit? How you gonna wash your balls? How you gonna get laid? How you gonna have any kind of life? Why? Why are you giving away most of your shit? Are you out of your fucking mind? Technically homeless, as in I don't have a normal house or apartment or stationary address that I now reside in. You know, I have a place where I have my fucking mail sent, and I have my mom's attic I store a few things in, and other than that, I am living right here in this fucking truck now, which to me qualifies as a home, but some think that this isn't gonna cut it. So I wanted to make this fucking video because I've done this before. This is not a new lifestyle. I've been trucking for 13 fucking years. I spend quite a bit of time in this little box, living and surviving and thriving. And because now I choose to do it when I go home too, somehow that worries people. So I'm making this fucking video, you know, to talk about my philosophy behind this a little bit more. I've gotten into it in my previous minimalism video. And to get a little more in depth, I'm going to give you a tour of my new living space. I'm going to update you on what the fuck I'm doing. My plans for the future are evolving. More and more research I do into this particular subject. So let's go over life on the road and living without a goddamn fucking rent, mortgage, fucking utilities, debt bullshit that we bust our asses day in and day out, working 60, 50 hours a week so that we can put a roof over our fucking head that we never fucking spend enough time in. We're not there. You're not. You spend all your fucking time working so you can pay for a spot to fucking sleep in and maybe watch TV. Well, you know what? You can do all of that shit in this little ass space, believe it or not, and have it just be just as fucking awesome as if you're in your big fucking room with the huge 60-inch goddamn TV. You can do that in a smaller space effectively. When you're watching a small screen close to your fat fucking head versus on the other side of the fucking living room, there's really no difference in your viewing experience. When you're listening to THX sound, or whether you have some really good fucking headphones, or even in my case, I'll show you what I'm using for my sound solution in my living room, you will have the same experience with no money. You're giving up a little bit of creature comfort. You know, there's not as much room to stretch your legs in this box, but the point is you shouldn't stretch your fucking legs in this box. You should get the fuck out of the box, go to the park, go to the lake, go to the fucking woods, go out into the city and enjoy, explore, experience life instead of spending all of your hard-earned fucking cash so that you can go sit in your big huge box full of shit that you don't hardly use. That's my philosophy. That's what's driving me. Now, a lot of people look at my situation. My girlfriend broke up with me. I was renting her house from her, and that might have spring-loaded me into this. But this is not a new thing. I've been fighting and fighting and fighting to have a normal life. By normal, I mean an apartment or a house, relationship, a home life. And I've been trying to do that while doing this shit to make the money to pay for it all. And it was probably the stupidest shit I've ever done in my life. Yet I realize it now. It's like a big fucking light switch came on. It was inspired a little bit by YouTube when I came across the minimalism and the tiny house movement and all of these other, van life is what I'm looking at a lot of now, and people that are out there, nomads. They're even in nomad communities, and they're doing what I did for fucking 7 years, only they want to do that. At the time, I was wanting a home. I was wanting all of the shit that the TV, the boob tube told me that I should fucking be striving for what I was raised and educated to pursue is a fucking house, picket fence, dog, fucking, family, this all things that you can have a lot of, but you don't need to do all of that. And I know that now. I've learned my fucking lesson the hard way. That's the way I learn all my fucking lessons, Don't do it the easy way. You fucking fuck up first and then figure it out. Well, I think I've successfully fucked up enough. So, as I said before, I was looking around. I had a shit ton of stuff that I was filling the house with, and I knew that if I was going to do this, I needed to trim the fat. And I pretty much went fucking scorched earth. I sold all of my Blu-rays. I had a cabinet full of Blu-rays, sold that. I've given away all my clothes to the donation. I didn't want to bother, this was slash and burn. I didn't want to take the time to sell a lot of things, so I really only sold some things that I knew I could get a decent amount of money for. And anything else I felt really wasn't worth my time. Like, I'd be better off just working and, making money that way than I would sitting in a yard sale and wasting an entire weekends, trying to pawn off the shit, or spending hours and hours on fucking eBay and Craigslist, and going to meet motherfuckers. I didn't want to do any of that shit. So I said, you know what, fuck all this. So I donated a bunch of shit. I fucking, gave away shit to friends. Like, I had like 5 or 6 drones. I kept one of my drones, and I gave the rest because, a friend of mine has 2 kids, and he had recently bought a drone himself, and I knew that, he might want to go flying with his kids, so maybe they should all have some drones. The shit was sitting in my closet. I maybe would have gotten a couple $100 if I took the time and energy to set it up for eBay or YouTube. Then I'd have to ship the shit. So I gave him the drones to try, so that he could have a good time with his kid. And it brought me a far more pleasure to know that I spent a lot of money on the drones and stuff in their heyday, and to know that people were going to enjoy it, further. To me, that gives it more value than just selling it to some other motherfucker and taking the money. I didn't worry about that. But there were some things I sold. I sold my computer. I had a desktop computer that was a nice gaming rig. I sold my 60-inch TV. I gave away the stereo with that just because it's an old-ass stereo, and I, didn't think I could even get $50 for it if I were to take the time. But to me, I just wanted to get done with this. The more and more I downsized, the more I just wanted it to fucking be done. I wanted to get the shit over with and be like, all right, I'm here, I'm set, let's make some money, let's make this shit happen, let's get myself, established and independent. And that's pretty much where I'm at now. So I've given my ex-girlfriend the keys to the house. I left all my furniture. I had like a bed, dresser, desk, all of that stuff. gone. I left, I gave her the option of either keeping it or I'll haul it out and donate it. But those were the two options. She chose to keep a lot of it, and that's fine by me. It's hers now, and I don't want any of it anymore. And she had such a hard time, are you sure? You sure you don't want this? I feel bad. Blah. No, I don't want this stuff. It's weighing me down. I don't even want to bother with the time it takes to try and sell it. I would much rather somebody else got something out of it besides me, and giving it away is easy on me. It saves me a lot of work, and it gives somebody else who, wants that kind of shit in their life the opportunity to get some nice free furniture, some nice drones, or some clothes, or all of these things. You go to the thrift store and you see clothes and they're cheap as fuck, and some people don't have a lot of money, and maybe they could go and buy some decent clothes that otherwise would be a lot more expensive. So it comes down to how you feel about the shit. And I feel good at the things that I've gotten rid of, at the things that... Now, I threw away a bunch of shit, too. I had drawers full of wires, connectors, all gone. I kept only what I needed to do my job, my photography and video, and, my computing. And everything else, I had fucking all kinds of audio video cables that just piled up over the years. I don't know how the fuck I accumulated all of that shit, but that's all fucking gone. I'm down to a week's worth of clothes, which I'll show you during the tour on where we're at as far as, my bedroom closet. I'm gonna go through each of my rooms in my new lovely bachelor pad here and show you how I'm living now, and that you don't need to worry about me. For those of you who know me are like, oh, he's lost his fucking mind. Goddamn pussy ripped his fucking brain out or something. What the fuck? No, you don't have to worry. I'm good. I really am. I get depressed, I get sad, and I get a little lonely now. But that's in waves. It passes, it comes, it goes, and I'm sure over time I will heal from the loss of a relationship of which I had a lot of emotions invested in. I gotta come to terms with that over time, and I'll deal with it best I can. So, just to kind of give you an idea of where my brain is, sit down and look at your life right now. And, a lot of you are working a lot, hard. I don't know a lot of people that just do the 40-hour work week anymore. Most of the people I know are putting in a shit ton of hours. And then they take all of that and they're putting it into their living space, their fucking car. And they don't have much left over to do anything else. If that's the kind of life, if you're a homebody, then yeah, I would say do that. If you just want to be in one safe, secure little place and you're comfortable kicking your feet back on your fucking sofa, watching TV the rest of your life, or playing games, or you go down to the park, or you do local shit, that's low priced, and, if that's your thing, then yeah. But for me, I want to go out into the world a little more, not as a truck driver, but as a traveler, as a tourist, as a photographer. I want to take pictures of things that I don't get to see when I'm driving this fucking thing down the road. And my goal is to not have to work 60 to 70 hours a fucking week. I'm tired. I am so tired of working these long ass fucking hours to pay for a life that I'm not even a participant in half the time because I'm working all the fucking time. I want to downsize my life to a more manageable dollar sign figure. I am not in debt, first of all. That's one of the things that I've managed to pull off over the years is I said fuck debt, mainly because I was in debt and, you know, there was a bankruptcy involved. We don't need to get all involved in all of that, but let's just say I rode the credit fucking wave right into the ground and I never built it back up after that. I was like, fuck credit, fuck loans, fuck, you know, save up for what I can get. And I have lived just fine. I've had a car, I've had places to live. I'm fine with that. I don't want debt. I'm not going to go into debt if I can avoid it. And it's pretty avoidable in a situation like this. So the only bills I have are my cell phone, my car insurance, vehicle maintenance, and that's about it. Food, obviously. And I don't need to work 60 or 70 hours a fucking week to pay that shit. I could probably work a part-time job at minimum wage and afford that shit. That would not give me as much money to do other things, obviously, and I like to do other things, so I have to find a happy balance. So look around your life. How much of your money are you spending on your dwelling and your car? You don't need the best, fastest, brand newest fucking car either. That's a big thing that you need to learn if you're gonna ever try and get more out of life than just working your 9 to 5 to pay for your fucking car and your house, you know, and maybe every once in a while you get to go out, you know. It's not, if that's your thing, fuck that. I ain't doing that. I don't want to work and just throw money away. I want the money to go efficiently. And if you buy a brand new vehicle, first of all, it loses half its value the second you drive it off the fucking lot. You know, most of the value of the vehicle gets lost in the first 3 years. So guess what? If you buy a 3-year-old vehicle, you're not the one taking it in the ass on that. Just saying. 3 years old, there's maybe 20 or 30,000 miles on the motherfucker when you buy it, and you didn't take the depreciation, which is like throwing money out the fucking window. Also, you can have the little odometer say 5 and smell some new car shit. You don't need that. So I don't do that. The vehicle I'm driving now is old as fuck. It's ready. I've gotten probably 6 years out of this fucking thing. I've poured maybe $2,000 in repairs and maintenance and shit over those 6 years. So if you look at the math on that, it got me from point A to point B. It's not, a bad vehicle. And, I'm ready to choose a vehicle I'm going to live in. But I'm still not going to buy brand new. I'm still going to try and shoot for 3 or 4 years old. And I know that if I do that, and I'm very choosy and picky, I will find one that will last me 7 or 8 years, maybe even 10 years if I take good care of it. So I'm not going to throw shit tons of money. Now, you're going to have a vehicle, whether you're living in a house or you're living in your vehicle. So it's a zero-sum game there. You're going to have vehicle maintenance costs. Now, if you buy a huge fucking RV or a huge, expensive-ass goddamn vehicle, you're going to have higher vehicle maintenance costs. So that is why I'm not leaning towards RVs. First of all, I don't need a lot of the shit in RVs. And secondly, it's very expensive to maintain and operate an RV. Shit breaks, roofs leak, tanks fucking burst. There's all kinds of fucking problems the more systems you have, crammed into the fucking fiberglass box or whatever the hell they make the RVs out of. So I'm leaning more towards van / maybe Class B, but not really. It's pretty much van conversion at this point. Either that or box van, as in, the little U-Haul motherfuckers with the fucking, something like that. I'm going to shop around. I'll insulate the inside of the bitch. Maybe take it to somewhere to get a vent put into the fucking ceiling, for cooling. And, I'll put a heater, a bed, and all of that shit. But we'll get into that in another video on what my plans are for building a home out of a van. And that'll be a whole series on this channel on what I'm doing and my ideas, and I do have some pretty good plans, and they're modular. I'm not looking to build something that's permanent. I want my inside of my living space to be multi-purpose and transformable. I don't want the bed to be out and take up 3/4 of the fucking van the whole time. I want it to be able to fold up into as small as possible so that I can have another space to do other things. You know, so I'm looking at ways of making it very modular and compact. And multi-purpose, and we'll get into that in my current situation, how I'm doing that right now to live in this fucking truck. So the other reason for doing this is freedom. I am not tied down anywhere anymore. You know, yeah, I have some friends and some family obligations here, so I'll probably still hover around this area, but if I want to take off for a month, I'll be able to. If I want to go across the country for a month and then come back, I can do that once I'm set up. And that's what I'm looking to do. That's what I'm looking to accomplish. I'm also looking to not work. I want to work seasonally or maybe annually. You know, work trucking for a year, take 9, 10, 11 months off, work trucking for another year or two. I don't know. It'll be an on-off, in and out of the industry thing, as long as I can keep doing that, as long as that's sustainable. Or I will find another job which is either seasonal, part-time, or otherwise not 70 fucking hours a week. So those are the end goals. Freedom, not weighed down, mobile, living, you know, going camping, going out to places, seeing things, taking pictures, taking video, really adventuring and experiencing life instead of busting my ass to where maybe I get a weekend to go somewhere, and if I'm lucky and have the money to do it, since I'm paying, I'd be paying for all the fucking rent, utilities, and goddamn all that other shit. At the rate I'm doing now, my income far exceeds my living expenses at this point. And, you know, without going into the straight up numbers, you know, I don't feel like doing that. But let's just say I got a lot of spare income, so it's not going to take me a very long time. I anticipate having a van by the end of the summer and probably having it built, or I might even take a vacation just to build the van. And then it's all gravy. Then I build an emergency fund of, you know, probably a year's worth I'd want. You know, I'd calculate my expenses, including maintenance and, you know, upkeep of said vehicle. And I would plot out a year's worth of that into savings. And then I start my cycle, my work vacation cycle. And thereby not working my fucking life away. You know, I'm 41 years old. I'd like to, you know, I don't know if I'm going to live to be 70. So what, do I really only want 5 years of experiencing a little bit of, you know, not working? So it's about trying to find a balance for me. That's what I'm really fucking trying to accomplish here. So bottom line, look at your life. How much time do you spend at home? Do you really need all of that? Do you need everything that's crammed into your house? Think about, you know, what rooms are you using? What do you do when you're at home most of the time? And I think you'll find you're sleeping, you're playing on the computer, looking at your phone, or you're working on cleaning and yard work and fucking all the bullshit you gotta do to fucking upkeep a large living space. I don't have to do any of that shit. I ain't gotta mow the lawn. I ain't gotta fucking shovel. I ain't gotta clean the toilet. I ain't gotta fucking vacuum. Well, I do have to sweep up in here, but it takes all of 5 minutes to sweep in here. And, you know, maybe I gotta wipe some shit down in here. That's about the extent, and it usually takes me under an hour a month to do something like that. And it's really... You pay a shit ton of money as to essentially store a shit ton of shit that you only use occasionally. And sometimes you store a bunch of shit that you don't even touch for a whole year. There was shit that I was getting rid of that I literally had not fucked with in 2 or 3 years. Like, it sat in a drawer, in a box, in a fucking shelf somewhere. There were clothes that I hadn't worn, you know, and all of it was taking up space. And you are paying for that space in square footage of your apartment or square footage of your house. You are paying for that space to hold that shit that you're probably not using. You could probably throw that shit out, and then if you want to use it, go buy it, use it, then sell it when you're done using it, and save yourself a shit ton of money in the process, if you were so inclined. But people get attached to their things, and I understand that. I don't think I'm ever going to convert anybody to this way of life, because we're all ingrained in it. We're all in this consumer fucking, I gotta have the biggest, best, fastest, fucking hugest goddamn, and you see it out in this nomadic, you know, life, minimalism lifestyle that people claim to be living. Meanwhile, they're in huge $40,000, $50,000 RVs filled to the brim with shit that they probably don't really need. And, you know, if you look around, you'll see there's people that live in minivans and Priuses and cars. Now, they're not as comfortable, obviously, but their expenses are non-existent in a vehicle that small. I'm not looking to go that low. A van about the size of this box is all I really need. And it's not hard. Any normal van, or, you know, maybe a box van so I can stand up. Standing up is not, I'm iffy on that. I could get an office chair with wheels on it and roll around in the back if I need to, but for the most part, standing is nice luxury. I might go for the box van just so that I can stand up. But I'm used to living in a space this size, so it's really not a big leap to have another space this size to go home to. In fact, that would leave me with 2 spaces this size, because I don't necessarily have to cart all of my shit out of the truck to put into my van, or vice versa. So it all fucking works out in the end. So, since you've been a real trooper and you've stuck with this fucking video, now it's time for the tour of my living space. Okay, you need fucking heat, you need fucking electricity, you need cooling, and you need a place to sleep. And, you know, maybe some entertainment and shit, and, you know, a place to sit and stuff like that. So first, let's go over the utilities of the vehicle that I live in. First of all, I have plenty of fucking room, all right? I am standing up, walking around. I have enough room right now in bedroom / living room mode. Sorry, I never make my bed. I don't like wasting time to, you know, make it look pretty, so it's never going to be made. So, you know, I have plenty of fucking room to work with. I've got all kinds of storage. That's my TV, but we'll go over that when I go over what I do when I'm in different modes. Because you gotta have modes. Everything is multi-purpose, multi-use. I got plenty of fucking storage. You know, there's where all my clothes are when they're on the truck. They, of course, fit in a green bag that I have. That is my bug out bag for clothes. So I am not hurting for space. I can easily get up and walk around and move around and be comfortable and stretch my legs and play with my nuts or whatever the fuck it is I want to do. I don't really have a problem doing it. So it works. It works for me. So, electricity. I have multiple power solutions. Firstly, the biggest number one go-to, and this is if I'm driving every fucking day, I want to say that's 1,000 or 1,200 watt inverter. This is wired to, there's 4 batteries in the truck that are wired to everything in the truck. This will give me about 5 hours of full-on power, as in gaming. Like, I have a gaming laptop that uses quite a bit of power. I can set up my full living room arrangement, complete with sound system and the monitor I showed you already. And this will power that for about 4 hours. It also shares power with the heat. This is the little temperature controller here. For the, well, it's a Esper heater, but it's basically, it uses a little bit of electricity and a little bit of diesel fuel, and it has a temperature control, a thermostatic control. Basically tells you the temperature. You can set the temperature and it'll run for 8 hours and shut it off automatically. I use this all the time. It is definitely comfortable in here when I use this. However, you can't do it day after day. You have to run the truck to recharge the batteries. Same thing for this. So basically, if I am stuck somewhere for more than 1 day of not working or not driving, I have to be a little more conservative. I can't just fucking pound the fucking heat and do this all the time. So I have to find other ways of powering shit. And I've already experimenting with that. It's in the underneath compartment and I don't want to fucking get it out right now, but I will show you the picture of it. I bought this thing from fucking Walmart for about $100. This will power my laptop when I'm not gaming, you know, by itself for probably about 3 or 4 hours, maybe longer. I haven't really tested it all the way yet. The longest I've gone is 4 hours, and that was non-gaming. This will not power it when I'm in game mode, as in when my video card fires off. It requires significantly more power. That will power it, but this will not. This will also power if I choose to use my laptop's battery to play video or movies. This will power my monitor and sound system just fine, too, for about the same amount of time, 3 to 4 hours. You know, maybe longer. I don't know. I haven't really given it the full Pepsi challenge, but I will. But only on days where I'm going to be in a spot for more than 1 day. This is what I bought this for. Is for when I need power off the grid and I'm going to be sitting somewhere a while. I need to do that. And the way this recharges is when I'm fucking driving again, I just plug the fucking power into this fucking thing and it charges up while I'm working. And once it's fully charged, I can use it again the next time. So it's basically like a bucket of electricity is how I think of it. And I might even buy a second one of these, so I have 2 of the motherfuckers, you know, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get them all charged up. But the great thing is they're very mobile, so I can take them with me places. Like if, you know, if I'm staying somewhere, you know, or visiting a friend, I can say, hey, can I plug this fucking thing in? Or, you know, I can drop them off at my mother's house and plug them in there and they'll charge. And, you know, but for the most part, I'm set up to plug them in here. Plus I have tethering, you know, at the terminal, and I can plug them in to the shore power that's there on the weekends and make sure they're all fully charged that way. So that's my backup power setup. So that's it. That's all the electricity I need. Now I'm looking to be a little more efficient with that in the future. You know, I might downsize my sound system some, and I can't really get rid of the monitor because I need it to edit pictures and have accurate color. I found the monitor that I use is very good, you know, and it makes the pictures look relatively close to what they should be in most situations, especially on other screens. And in print, you know, I have to play a little bit, you know, when I print a photo as opposed to putting it out. But I use the monitor because the laptop screen ain't worth a horse shit. It looks like shit. Most of the pictures come out either dark or the colors aren't quite right or whatever if I edit a photo using the laptop screen. If I could find a good photo editing laptop, I probably would be better off upgrading to that next time. But for now, my laptop is very powerful, very good at just about everything else. So, you know, and I already have the monitor, so I might as well use it. And I do use it. And it also makes a nice, big, huge fucking screen to watch movies and TV shows on in this small space. So, I have heat. I have electricity. I've got a bed. I've got a space to walk around in. So, let's take another tour of things that I can do. This is kind of my office / quick entertainment situation. I sit in my chair here. I can eat here. It's kind of like my kitchen too. This, you know, if I'm gonna eat something, I'll sit here. I'll put it on my little tray table. You can buy these tray tables very cheaply at Walmart. They're sturdy. They're made of fucking wood. You know, Walmart's not paying me for this shit. It's just I try and do things cheaply and efficiently. So this is what I do when I'm not really wanting to do a lot to set up for things. If I'm not laying down for the night or what have you, I watch shit on my phone, which I have mounted right here, and you know, it's all powered. This thing will run for days on the battery power of the truck, and it's, you know, I've never had an issue keeping that charged and running at all times. So no, even if I'm stuck somewhere for 5 or 6 days, if I cut the laptop out of the equation, I can entertain myself with this little motherfucker. And I also, back here, just should be noted while I'm talking about this, I've got this little fucking thing right here, which, you know, you can set up just about anywhere, hold your phone, and I generally put that pretty close to my fucking face, and I lay down and watch it in bed. And that's one of the solutions for my personal entertainment. It's like my TV in my kitchen, you know, so to speak. So I sit here and do a lot of things in this area, pretty much on breaks, or, you know, when I'm pulled over, or when I'm at a customer waiting and shit like that. You know, also as part of my kitchen, I do keep my artificial sweeteners for my coffee, because, you know, a good chunk of my diet's coffee. I got some utensils. I got some seasoning for when I get lunch meats and stuff from, you know, Subway and that kind of stuff, because I'm on a ketogenic diet. So I do have a treat that I don't consume on a regular basis because it does have a little bit of sugar in it. But these are some almonds that I commonly eat. I got some pork rinds, and, you know, which aren't the healthiest, but they make a nice, good, salty fucking snack. Occasionally for dessert, I have this. So I keep food. I also keep water. That's important. I usually keep cases of bottles of water here. Occasionally, I probably will eventually get a jug that contains extra water for other things, you know, like, you know, if I'm going to be remote. But generally, I have access to running water in a lot of places, so I don't feel the need to carry a tank. So that is the office and / kitchen. That's pretty much, well, one of the offices. I have a couple offices I use to do work. This is my living room setup. You know, I lay here on my fucking bed, and I put this monitor on this tray table. This is another tray table I got from Walmart. It's bigger than the other one. You can never have too many fucking tray tables, because this one is the adequate size that I can work on it. And do even a dual monitor setup with my laptop if I need to, and really be able to get my work done. So when I go into, you know, video editing mode, mainly photo editing mode, because I can edit video on my fucking laptop by itself. So there is that, and I have sounds, you know, my computer desktop speakers that I had, instead of throwing them out or getting rid of them, I'm like, you know what, I'll just use that as a secondary sound system on the truck. The subwoofer is down there, and there's the other speaker there that goes on the floor when I'm moving. But this is my setup for watching movies, TV shows, you know, you name it. That's what I do, and it's very, very comfortable. So yeah, there's shit tons. That's my living room relaxation, movie enjoyment, and this screen you know, the bigger you want it, the closer you move it to you. Like, if I pull it towards me more, you know, that's as much fucking view space as my fucking 60-inch TV was across the room, you know, and it's closer and easier. I might get 4K someday. I don't know if that'll make a difference at this size and this range, if I would notice, you know, higher resolution this close. But that's an option in case I really want to spend more time watching shit. But for right now, this is fine. This does everything I needed to do, and I really only do this if I'm, you know, really wanting a good movie experience. You know, a lot of times I'll just watch shit on my laptop by itself and not even set this up. But I have used it a couple times since I've started living on the truck, and I like it. I like watching movies on this. It's nice and bright, whereas the laptop's not quite as brilliant and, you know, fun to watch things on. It's a good monitor. I bought it because it was a good monitor, because I had to be able to have accurate color and brightness representation of my photography. So that's why I bought this monitor, and why I continue to keep it, because it's still an integral part of my workflow for editing photographs. And I store this up here when I'm pulled over. But when I'm driving, I take the monitor from up there and I wrap it in my blanket and leave it on the bunk. And, you know, basically that's part of my ritual, is I'll move it up there when I'm not using it and I'm pulled over, or down there when I'm driving and working. And that, because, you know, you don't want this thing bouncing around. So if you wrap it in the blanket, it doesn't slide around or anything, you know, assuming I don't ram into something, in which case I got bigger problems than whether or not my monitor breaks. But in this motherfucker right here, I fold down and I put in that space there. But since this is part of my next room, I will demonstrate. This is my setup for photo editing. I put my mouse here or here, depending on which is more easy for me at the time. And I use my laptop. This is a tray table I bought at Best Buy, and it's great for a lap desk as well. And I commonly just use my laptop with this laying in bed when I'm, you know, just kind of surfing the web or fucking around. But when I want to do a full-on video or photo edit, this is now my setup for that. I got this nice camo redneck folding chair from Walmart. It's comfortable enough for me to sit in and enjoy, and it just comes right here, like I'm standing in the front of the truck right now, and I just scooch in and do my thing. And I power all of this with the inverter, of course, or if I have alternate power, I use that, you know, or I can just run the truck too. That's always an option. Especially if it's really hot out, I can run the truck and power all of this without worrying about killing batteries or whatnot. But I try to avoid running the truck as much as possible. So that is my workstation for when I'm editing photos. That's about the only thing I would use this setup for, because I do need the dual screens to do my work efficiently and not fuck up. I can, you know, do a rough edit with just the laptop and lap desk laying in bed, but I do like having a workstation to edit my photography at. You know, it does make things a lot more efficient for me. So that's that setup. So this is my work studio for photography. Yeah. I, of course, store my chair up back here. This is a nice secure cargo net to hold my suitcases that I told you about before. I got my dirty laundry. I got some empty bottles and bags that I use for various trash or peeing or whatever. My bottles, you know, I got my pee bottles. Basically I recycle, you know, appropriately. That leads to the next question. How do I take an emergency shit? Now 9 times out of 10, I go into the motherfucking truck stop or the rest area or what have you, and I do my business in a normal toilet, you know, or at the terminal if I'm home for the weekend, or I just go to fucking a restaurant or a McDonald's or whatever and use their bathroom. You know, wherever there's a shitter, I go. But on occasion, I have been known to boondock in this thing. This is I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere, not hooked to anything, nothing to speak of, especially on deeper northern Canada runs, which I'm likely to accept now that I'm living in this fucking thing. And there occasionally might come a time where I'd have to take a shit really bad and there's no bathroom around. In that case, I know this is fucking disgusting, but what do you expect? I'm a truck driver. I'm Scott the truck driver. This doubles as my trash can. And I do carry a bunch of trash bags, heavy duty, huge trash bags. And what I do if I'm going to have to take a shit is I'll wad up a bunch of paper towels, or these are like adult diapers that my girlfriend bought when she came out on the road for me to put in the thing. She isn't wearing them, but to put into that, she also bought that. I was against this thing to begin with, but it's grown on me. And in here, I clean this if I ever use it, and I've only used it once since we've had it. But this is it's a luggable loo. I think you buy them at Walmart. And this is the toilet seat that you can throw onto that bucket. So you put the bag in there, you pee separately. This is for shit only. You don't want to pee in there and do all that. But you put the bag in there, you fill it with some paper towels and some absorbent materials of various kinds. You do your business. You immediately bag it and remove it from the vehicle, and put it in the trash. I do keep some trash on the outside back of this if I don't have access to a dumpster or a trash can or what have you. Now, they may say, oh, it's fucked up, you throw it. No. People bag their dog shit and throw it in there. People put their dirty ass fucking diapers from their kids' shit in there. It's no different. No different whatsoever. It is perfectly legal and fine, okay? You know, it's bagged properly. It's not going to cause any issues. So that is, and I'm not the only one that does this. There's plenty of people that are nomads that do this kind of thing. So that is it. But when I'm not worrying about shitting, it does become a trash can, which I empty on a regular fucking basis. So now that we got the disgusting shit out of the way, so the last thing to talk about is showers. I know I've gone over this before. There's showers at my terminal. There's, showers at friends and family houses. Showers at truck stops. And if I really need to splurge, I can go stay in a hotel room and shower that way. So keeping clean isn't an issue. However, you're not, as a trucker, you don't always have access to a shower. So how do you keep yourself clean in that situation? Well, there's these handy little fucking things that, started out as wiping babies' asses with, but quickly grew into other things. So I washed, the parts that could really grow with the antibacterials, and the parts that I don't want to burn, I wash with the baby wipes. And that's pretty much that. I've got all of my toiletries, toothbrush, all that shit here. I got mouthwash, fucking, all of my toiletries are nicely, cleanly organized in my cheap-ass Walmart fucking $11 shelving unit. So that covers it all, doesn't it? I have a full house crammed into this little goddamn fucking space. And let's not forget, you don't have to be in here all the time. You can go into rest areas, truck stops. You don't have to use... So I got all that. How do I get to my TV and Netflix and internet and all of that? Well, you gotta have a kick-ass data plan. There's no way around it, and it ain't cheap. I have the unlimited data on my phone with a 14 gigabyte Wi-Fi hotspot. Shop around, find a data plan. It's not gonna work everywhere, so you're gonna need to stop and use Wi-Fi and download shit here and there. It's not it's not gonna always, you know, be available. But for me, for the most part, the places I go and the places I park, I have 4G LTE just about everywhere. One handy little trick is to download shit to your phone and then transfer it to your laptop. That way you use your unlimited data instead of your Wi-Fi hotspot. Wi-Fi hotspot I generally reserve for if I'm going to watch Netflix or something on my laptop or on a bigger screen. I do have the option of just watching the shit on my phone and not using any of my data. So generally, now uploading videos, that's a thing. I learned this little trick while I was out here, and I had to learn this pretty quick so that I could get videos to you guys. Generally, you don't want to shoot 4K and do this, but this is a 1080p video. You can upload, well, first transfer the video to your phone, the file, and then upload it to YouTube from your phone. And do that overnight while you're sleeping so you don't tie up your phone all day. And you wake up in the morning, the video's uploaded, you go onto your laptop, you tag, do all that shit. So mainly I save my hotspot stuff for gaming or things that require an active, you know, good connection for my laptop. Everything else I just consume through my phone. So I watch a shit ton of YouTube on my phone. You know, sometimes I'll have my laptop going, not hooked to the internet, and just have my phone going watching YouTube videos and whatnot that way. Occasionally I do like to watch stuff on bigger screens, so I do use some of my Wi-Fi hotspot for that. So that's internet. That solves entertainment right there. So I've covered all my bases. We got the shitter, we got the shower, we got the kitchen. I could probably get a little propane burner if I was so inclined, or a 2 propane burner and use it, you know, just fine, you know, ventilate, of course, and some water, and that I could cook in here if I wanted. I've seen it done. I'd prefer not to, simply because I have plenty of access to food. But if I was going to be somewhere remote for a really long time, then I'd want to invest in a propane stove and a decent amount of water and whatnot. So that is something you would need for the kitchen. Bedroom, this bed I've been sleeping in for a long time, so I'm quite comfortable sleeping here. I showed you my office, I showed you my living room, I showed you my dining area. I have everything that you have in this box, you know, or access to it just outside the box. And I don't have to pay anything for this. I don't have a light bill. I don't have rent. The company provides this vehicle. Eventually I'll have my own vehicle with these same amenities, and we'll go through it together. I'll show you how I do all this shit. So for those of you who, you know, were giving me that sad look, oh, he's homeless, I feel so bad for you. Remember, I'm fine. This is by choice. I am not homeless. Homeless is when you don't have a choice. I got a choice. I choose to live like this so that I can have money to do things that I want to do, so that I can sever this tether that has got me working 60 to 70 hours a week and maybe work 20 to 30 hours a week or seasonally and have long blocks of time off and take long vacations and, you know, leave of absences and whatnot. And that's my goal. I'm setting myself up to do that. And I'll keep you guys posted on how all of that works. So, much like all my other videos, I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just an asshole. I am pretty good at living in this truck. You know, if there's one thing I've mastered in my 13 years of being a truck driver, it's how to live efficiently on the road. So that's how I live. You know, leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's something I did that you think could be done more efficiently, or I have a lot of truckers that also watch this, and maybe you've figured out better ways of doing things that are more efficient. Particularly, I'm interested in good power solutions because I don't have a generator or solar, and I probably won't have that out here, at least not on this truck, but I will probably get a small generator or solar for the van that I'm going to convert. So that, leave your comments. What do you think? Could you live this life? It's different. It's not what everyone, strives for. It's not the normal fucking life that we're all supposed to live, but I've fought against living this life for a long time, and it was for nothing. I, busted my ass to try and establish a life, a home life, and, I went and worked photography full time and basically was broke as fuck because photography just doesn't pay the goddamn bills most of the time. So, and I did all of that. And here I am, back at square one. And I need to stop fighting it. I need to embrace it and use it for all it's worth. So remember, I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just an asshole. And maybe, my experience at downsizing might help somebody who, like me, is in the rat race, got fucked over in a relationship, and is looking to have a more free, full life instead of a life lived in slavery to corporations and jobs to pay for a fucking place that you're only in maybe a couple hours every night and on weekends. And even then, you usually don't want to stay in there all weekend. You want to go out and do shit. So you spend all of this money and resources and energy. And I think of it from like a survival fucking perspective. If you watch the survival shows, it's all about how many calories you burn versus how many calories you take in. And if something costs more calories to make happen than it gives you back, then it's not worth even doing. And I feel like we're all living that way. We're putting out shit tons of our fucking back-breaking energy, and we're not getting a whole lot in return for it. And all under the guise that when we're 65 or 67, or they think they're pushing it back every, 69 I think is the next, 69. And then 70 and 80, we don't even know if we're going to fucking be here. So why would you invest all of your good years for some fucked up years at the end that you're going to be too fucked up to really enjoy anyway? Or, it's more about living for now, I guess, which some people can't handle. They want security. They want to know that when they're old, they're not going to be fucked. I don't care, all right? At this point, it's not like I got a lot going on. It's just me. And I'm going to take care of me and enjoy my life properly and not give it away or sell it to these corporations to pay for a fucking space that I'm never in. Also, that when I am in said space, that I'm a little more comfortable. I can be pretty fucking comfortable in here. So for those of you that were worried, don't worry. I'm fine. I'm a little sad, a little depressed about the relationship thing, but as far as lifestyle, I'm fine. I can go do what I want. I can go to nice restaurants. I can go, play poker. I can go camping. I can do things. I can go to concerts. I can go to events. You name it. The world is my oyster. And it's only my oyster because instead of spending all my money on a place to live, I'm going to live here. But I'm not probably going to be here that much, I'll work and sleep out here and do my thing while I'm out here. But when I'm home, I'm probably only going to sleep in here. And I'll be out doing other things with my time that take up a lot of my time. So when I'm here, it's comfortable, but I'm not going to spend all my time in the truck. There'll be days where I'm lazy and I'll just lay in here and watch TV or do whatever, but that's kind of not the point. Point is for me to get out there and do things and enjoy my life a little more. See more movies. Like, I can go to the movies tomorrow now. I don't have to worry about waiting until it comes out on Blu-ray or whatnot. I go, no, waiting for no. Go to the fucking movie now. So what if it's $15? It's not like I'm paying rent. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. I'm continuing. You guys have voted and spoke out that you like my longer videos, so I'll keep making longer fucking videos. Life on the road will continue. I've had requests for more trucking videos. Obviously, since I'm going to be living in this motherfucker, I'm going to make some more videos about living in this motherfucker and some trucking experiences. I'll try and pump out some more videos on that. As for my fasting and weight loss, I weighed 197.5 pounds, and that was despite a cheat day. I decided to have a cheat day. I was really depressed and said, fuck it. And so I had a cheat day. By cheat day, I mean cheat meal. Like, I ate I went my 18-hour fast. I had my one meal, and that was it. And it was a cheat meal. But I'll go over that in my next fasting keto video about cheat days and how they affect you and what they did to my results. So that was just a little teaser for those of you who are nice enough to watch my entire motherfucking video. Have a nice motherfucking day.